Good evening, YouTube. This is Bob Plachno reporting to you from my comfy abode right here in Chicago, Illinois. All right, the afternoon has now turned into the evening because this is part two of a crossword puzzle game, the ultimate crossword puzzle game. My phone decided when to cut off part one, so this is part two. All right, we left off on the usage of S's on game number 3. All right, we've exhausted the usage of S's on game number 3. Moving right along to game number 4. Are there any S's at all on game number 4? No. How about game number 5? Yes, there are a couple of S's. There's an S in resort and an S in synonym. All right. Next letter, a Q. All right. Are there any Q's in game 1? All right. Once again, trying not to sound too redundant, the Q should sue game number 1 for being discriminated against. There is no Q in game number 1. It's been excluded. Maybe fucking Q should sue game number 1 and the alphabet entity for not including it enough. All right? Sensitivity. Oh, God. All right. Looking for a Q on game number 2. Any Q's? No. Game number 3. Any Q's? No. Game number 4. Let's zoom in just in case I'm wrong. No. Game number 5. Oh my God, the letter Q has been excluded not only out of individual games, but out of this whole crossword puzzle. Fuck it, take it to the Supreme Court. All right, next letter. The letter U. That should be very popular. Any U's? All right, there is a U in natural, useful. There's 2 U's in useful, and we've completed a word, the word undo. All right. Game number 2. There's a U in south. There's a U in urgent. There's a U in use and unicycle. And that concludes the usage of U's in game 2. How about game 3? There's only one U, a U in tunnel. How about game 4? There's a U in aura and fun. How about game 5? Game 5 does not have any U's. All right. Next letter, the letter C. Game 1, there's a C in acre. There is a C in civil. There's 2 C's in Arctic. 1 C in act. There's a C in C's. That concludes the usage of the letter C in game 1. Game number 2. All right. We spelled another word, inch. There's a C in inch. There's a C in intellect. There's 2 C's in unicycle, and there is a C in phonetic. That concludes, and there is a C in ocean. Even though you can't hear it, it sounds like an S. Maybe the C should sue the alphabet for not pronouncing its letter right. All right. It's racist. Yeah, the alphabet's is racist against the letter C because it sounds like an S. Oh, God. All right, the letter C. Do we have any C's in game number 3? There's a C in itch, and that's it. All right. How about game number 4? There's a C in agency. there's a C in acting, even though it sounds like the letter K. I mean, they're synonymous. All right, the final game for this puzzle, game number 5, we have a C in cat and crown. And that concludes the usage of the letter C. How about M? M. Are there any M's? There's an M in basement, and there's an M in minted. Game number 2, looking for M's. I don't see any M's. Game number 2 must be racist against the letter M for not letting it in its puzzle. Oh, God. All right. No M in 3, so there's another lawsuit. How about game number 4? No M's in game number 4. There's another lawsuit. Oh, and there's an M in game number 5. So game number 5 is exempt from the class action lawsuit. There's an M in totem and synonym. All right, last letter, W. All right, is there any W? Are there any W's in game 1? W can sue. It could join M in a class action lawsuit. Yeah, they could sue Ultimate Crossword. They can sue the letter industry. They can sue the alphabet. They could sue Greece. They could sue America. Any countries that adopted the alphabet. Oh, my God, that's a lot of lawsuits. You will never, ever, ever have to get a job. You could just live off lawsuits. All right, I got besides myself. So we're looking for W's. I don't see a W in game 1. How about game 2? There's a W in game 2. There's another W in game 2 in growth. All right, so there are 2 W's in game 2. How about game 3? No W's. Game 4? No W's. How about game 5? All right, we got a word. There are 2 W's. So, I got all fucking sidetracked with dialogue. All right. I don't know if this is a fucking winner at all. I had to split this gigantic ticket. I should have been scratching this ticket with a hubcap. Instead, I would have been better off scratching it with my fingernail. I love the crossword games, but they are very time-consuming. So, all right. There's nothing else I got to say about this. Without further ado, ladies and germs, I've got shit to do. This is your host, Mr. Bob Plachno, signing off, and as always, have a wonderful Sunday.